everyone, and a very warm welcome to the latest in our series of Coffee in Palestine. I'm Nell Burden. I'm currently standing outside the famous Al-Nasser Mosque in the heart of the city centre of Nablus. From the outset, this bustling centre of trade seems relatively unaffected by the Israeli occupation. However, this wasn't always the case. During the 2000 Al-Aqsa Intifada, Israeli Apache helicopters rained down rockets onto the old city, destroying much of it. Today, the Israeli occupation have all but disappeared from the city. However, Israeli policies continue to have a massive adverse impact on the residents of Nablus. The governorate of Nablus lies in the centre of a sea of illegal Israeli settlements. They're surrounded by 12 large settlements and 37 illegal Israeli outposts. I've come to the centre of Nablus to speak to Professor Abdul Fattah Qassam to find out more about how this affects the daily life of Palestinians living in Nablus. So this is very famous. Have some yourself, please. So tell me a little bit more about the economy of Nablus. I mean, it seems to be booming.
3 major cities, Tulkarm, Jenin and Qalqilia. This is the center here. And it has a long history, economic history and cultural history. At certain times it was the leading town in political terms and also in cultural terms.
Okay, shall we walk towards the Yad. Professor told me that the buildings and architecture in Nablus rivaled that of Jerusalem Al-Quds and included Roman ruins, Sebastia, the ancient Canaan village of Tel Balata. And then he led me to the most important mosque built during the Ottoman Empire, Al-Nasser Mosque. However, he explained the ancient ruins surrounding Nablus are now being claimed by the Israelis, and Palestinians are being banned from entering them. We struck up a discussion with Palestinians who were freedom fighters in Nablus during the second Intifada.
طب احنا قاومونا في دباباتهم وفي طياراتهم، شو اللي قاومونا احنا؟ بيش احنا قتلنا ما هو؟ يعني احنا لما فاتوا علينا من شارع حطين في الهنداي بتعرفها هذه الجرافة اللي كبيرة، كل شيء تشوفوا بوجهها تجروا في المياه وتضل فايتة، هذه مقاومتهم؟ برضه مش مقاومة تاعتهم.
Can you just give me an idea, a picture of this area during the second Intifada? So, for example, was there anyone out in the streets? Were there many bombs coming down? Were the Israeli forces inside the city centre?
اليهود لما فاتوا علينا في الاجتياح كان أي شيء بتحرك في الشارع في الدار يطلقوا عليه الرصاص. ما كانوا يعني لا كانت بس تسلم منهم. يعني بساس كانوا يطخطخوهم بالشوارع، الكلاب يطخطخوهم بالشوارع، ناس يكون خرص على البركة تنزل يطخطخوهم بالشوارع، ما كانوا يرحموا عنا حدا. بعدين احنا قبل ما يفوتوا هون كانوا مستلمين مناطق الجبال، هذه الجبال كليتها لما كانت كلها محاصرة في قناصين، انت انه واحد بده يمرق منه الشارع كان. ما حدا كان يسترجي. بعدين هم الجرأة تاعتهم اللي فاتوا علينا فيها، كيف فاتوا؟ فاتوا على الدور علينا بدراع بشري.
This is Al-Aqsa place. This is the most important, the most famous.
طبعا أثر كنا يفتح يوم يومين بالأسبوع نفتح ساعتين ثلاثة ولا يزال هنا بفوتوا يعني احنا بنسكر المغرب كنا نسكر الساعة 10 بالليل كنا نسكر.
Why do you close at sunset?
خلص الناس بتروح تعودت وفيش أمن.
We are not sure if I will come from my village up to here in the evening time. There is checkpoint. Everybody advising us not to go after like the sunset.
Where are the checkpoints?
Checkpoints from like my village. I'm from Anabta, which is 18 kilometers away from here. Yeah, so in our way here, there is 2 checkpoints. You know, there are 2 checkpoints. They are sometimes our mobile checkpoints. You know, so we are not sure. So we come now. Now is our lunch time, not this is sweet time. But we just come to get it. Yeah.
The professor explained to me that since the Second Intifada, Nablus has become one of the worst adversely affected areas in the West Bank from settler expansion and violence. He said that although they permeated the landscape around Nablus and didn't directly impact the city centre, the residents who travelled in on a daily basis experienced checkpoints, roadblocks and settler assaults in the surrounding villages.
Now, even I applied for a permit to go to Jerusalem, to go to a hospital in Jerusalem. The Israelis denied me the permit, refused to give me one. So I haven't been to Al-Aqsa for around 45 years. So it's a sacred place. It's important for all the Muslims, for all the Palestinians, for all the Arabs. So they are very much concerned about Al-Aqsa. And they are very much concerned that it might be turned into a Jewish shrine. Particularly, the Arabs and the Muslims are not doing anything to save Al-Aqsa.
Now, talking about Jewish shrines, we have, for example, Joseph's tomb in Nablus.
In Nablus, yes.
Yes. Now, when we're talking about settlers taking over areas, this part has been annexed, essentially, onto the settlements. So the settlers have taken over a very, very important historic location. Can you tell me more about that?
Well, we don't know exactly the historical importance of that place. The Jews claim that is the tomb of Prophet Yusuf. That's very much doubted. And the people here in Nablus say that it's the tomb of Joseph Edwekat. Edwekat is a family in Nablus. So he is, the one who is buried there is a member of Edwekat family. He's not a prophet.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. But the Israelis insist that he's the prophet. Why? Because they want to take the place. And they want to remain inside Nablus, inside the city.
But I want to know about the historical places that actually you might lose forever. The places surrounding Nablus, still in the Nablus governorate.
Like in Attur.
Yes.
In Attur we have our historical places for the Samarites, for the Christians, and we have for the Muslims. Like for instance, we have the ruins of a Christian Byzantine church on top of the mountain, Attur.
Yes.
And we had a place that was built by Saladin. Now, these places are under the control of the Israelis. And for years, we haven't been allowed to visit the place there.
Yes.
So we might lose it. Like for Sebastia, for instance, we can now visit Sebastia.
Yes.
But until now, the Israelis claim the control over the place.
Yes.
So it's very hard for the Israelis to annex Sebastia because it is in the middle of a populated area. But there are dangers.
Yes.
And we haven't been able to make enough excavations in the area so as to know more about Sebastia.
I'd like you to tell me more about the cafe that we're going to. But I want to do it in the context. I know that the resistance in Nablus has always been very, very strong against the occupation.
It was.
And I want to know the importance of coffee shops and cafes in political groups meeting up.
Okay, before that, I want to tell you that But the most interesting thing in Nablus is the old city.
Yes.
If you
yes.
come to Nablus and don't go to the old city, you would not visit Nablus.
Right.
Because the old city speaks history. The
Important.
coffee shops are generally the center of discussions and talks between the people. They chat, they meet.
Yes.
And originally in Syria, when I say Syria, I mean greater Syria, Jordan, Palestine, Lebanon, and smaller Syria that we have.
Yes.
Here in Syria, this is a tradition.
Uh-huh.
We have coffee shops. People used to meet, drink tea, drink coffee, and
Yes.
talk about their daily problems. Yeah.
So where are we going now?
Now we are going to a cafe
Yes.
called the Alewi Cafe. It is important in Nablus. It has been a center, a place of gathering for people who are coming from the different villages surrounding Nablus.